In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your next bestseller quickly and professionally in a matter of minutes. Let's get started. First, we will do our trend research. So I'll go ahead and search nurse shirt. And I will be using the EverBee Chrome extension tool to sort through these listings and find the ones that are performing well to gain inspiration from. So I'll go to the left-hand side, select Product Analytics, and then I will sort this by estimated revenue in the last month. And this listing here has sold 253 times in the last month, and its estimated revenue in the last month is $4,428. They're using great graphics. It says, "You give me tachycardia." So this is a great example of trend combining for Valentine's Day and for the medical field. And they have a really nice mock-up to showcase this design, which stands out. And just to clarify here, this shirt is not selling for $7. So if you click on the shirt size, you'll notice the $7 item here is actually for a baby onesie newborn. But for their t-shirt sizes, for let's say a unisex large shirt, it costs $16. Plus, they're also charging extra for shipping, which is close to $6. So in reality, the cost they are charging for this shirt is closer to $22, $23 depending on the size and color. So I think this is a great design to gain inspiration from. Before we start the designing process, we want to check to make sure this phrase is not trademarked, and I will do that by going to tmsearch.uspto.gov, and then we will search this specific phrase by selecting Basic Word Mark Search. And here we can type in our phrase. And I personally like to sort it by live so that it will only show me the ones that are active, and then I will hit submit query. And it says no records were found, so we know that this phrase is safe to use for our design as well as for the keywords in our title and in our tags. Now we are ready to begin the designing process, and for this we will be using Kittl. If you've never heard of Kittl, it is a great design program to quickly create high quality and professional designs in a matter of minutes. Really, you don't need that much graphic design experience in order to create a professional design here in this program. There are a lot of really cool features within Kittl where you can easily do advanced text editing, so you can easily warp text with just a few clicks. And there is magic recoloring where you can choose trending color palettes and instantly replace colors from any design with a single click. And they also have texture clipping where you can easily add textures to your designs. There is unlimited content where you can use their pre-made templates that you can edit yourself, or you can create a design from scratch. And in Kittl, you have every tool you need in order to create a professional design that can become your next bestseller. So they have pre-made templates for logos, labels, t-shirts, posters, cards, etc. They have a lot of different pre-made templates here that you can choose from. You can also search specific categories for whatever niche you're designing in. And for this example today, I will search retro. And as I scroll through here, you'll notice below the templates, it will say who created this template. So different creators and artists can add their templates to Kittl. Ones that were created by the Kittl team specifically will say Kittl below it. And I really like this template here, All You Need Is Love, with the retro font, and it's curved, which is very popular and trending right now on Etsy. So once you found a template you want to use, just go ahead and select it. And then you will select Use This Design. Over on the left-hand side is your toolbar. You can access your projects here. You can look at different templates here by selecting designs. You add text. They have different elements that you can add. You can search whatever element it is that you're looking for. You can upload specific graphics if there's one you have in mind. And they have stock photos as well as different textures that you can add to your design. Down here you can reference your shortcuts, and they give you the different commands for each specific shortcut, which is nice so you can design more quickly. Over here you can zoom in or out on your project so it's easier to design. So these are all the different colors that are currently in your project. And then on the far right hand side we have our layers where you can easily access and reference your different layers that are in your project. Before we start designing, I want to first change the canvas size. So I'll go up here to the top right hand side and select settings, that little gear icon. And then down here where it says custom size, I can type in my new canvas size. And I will be making my canvas size 5,000 by 5,000. And the reason for increasing our canvas size is just to ensure high print quality. And after I've changed the canvas size, I will now want to make sure my design fills the entire canvas. And for all of the templates that Kittl creates, they are vectors, so no matter how big you make it, it will still be very clean lines. I know right now it looks a little blurry, but if I zoom in on this design, you'll see it's still very clean lines and very high quality. So we will first change the text here to say, "You give me tachycardia." To do that, just double click on the text, and now I will type in my new phrase. And you'll notice there are two different layers here. So we have our top layer and then we have our shadow layer. So we will need to change the text on both layers. And another thing you can do is if you're changing the text, you can easily rename these. So I'll just double click and I will change this to "You Give Me." That way I can easily reference it. Then I'll drag this out of the way here, and then I'll change the text of the shadow. So again, just double click and then highlight it all. And then I'll drag my top layer back on top of my shadow. And they do have this coffee bean that they added, which we will not be using. So I'll go ahead and select that and then hit delete. And then I'll change this text that says "Is Love" to "Tachycardia." And then I'll go ahead and drag my top layer back on top. And if you want to make really slight adjustments, you can use the arrows on your keypad. And now I want to move these heart elements out of the way and we'll add them in later on. So I'll go ahead and select them and I can just drag them off of my canvas. They'll still stay in my project, but they will be out of the way. On the right hand side, we have our text settings and I'll show you all of the different features that Kittl has. So first off, you can easily change the color by selecting the color there. And you can change it to whatever color that you want. If you want it to match one of the other colors in your document, you can easily do that by just selecting one of these colors. You can change the opacity of the color. If you want to add a border, you can do that as well. So you can select here, choose whatever color of border you want, and then you can easily change the width of your border. Here's where you can choose whatever specific font you want, and there are a lot of different font options to choose from. Another really cool feature is you can upload your own fonts. And when you upload your own font, you also are able to do these same features that I'm showing you right now. You can easily change the font size, the letter spacing, and line height. And down below is where you can transform your text and curve your text and do really cool things. And there's a lot of different options to choose from here. And after selecting one of these transformation options, you can also edit the anchor points to make it warp even more if you would like. And all you have to do is select one of your anchor points and adjust it accordingly. And if you decide you don't like the transformation that you did, you can easily reset it by just selecting Reset Transform. And then the last feature that I really love is up here. If you select this A, you can add different effects for shading. And as I click through these, you'll see the different options that happen. So you can add these shadow backgrounds, and when you add these shadow backgrounds, you can change the offset so you can make it more offset. You can change the angle of it. And you can also change the color of the shadow, which is really cool. So really your options are endless when it comes to editing the text in Kittl. For our design today though, I'll just go ahead and delete this. We won't be using that and we'll add in a different element. So I'll go to the left hand side and select elements, and then I can search whatever element it is that I'm looking for. So I will search pulse for a heartbeat pulse. And this one will work great. So when you want to add it to your project, just select the element and then you can click and drag it anywhere you want it. And if you want to duplicate this element, you can easily do that by just selecting these boxes here, and that will duplicate it, and then you can drag it over and align it wherever you would like. And I'll zoom in on my project so it's easier to see. And again, you can use your arrows to do slight adjustments if needed. And since these are two different elements, you can either just drag and click and highlight it all and move the elements wherever you'd like, or you can right click on them and select group, and then those will be grouped together so you can just select once and move them wherever you want them to be on your canvas. And then I'll select my hearts layer here. That will access my hearts. And then I can click and drag them back onto our canvas. And I want to ungroup these since these are grouped together right now, so I can individually move them. I'll just right click on it, hit ungroup, and now I can select each individual heart and place it exactly where I want it. And the idea of when you're adding little elements like this is just to fill in empty space to really tie the design together. And then for this heart here, I want to flip it. So to do that, I'll just right click and I can either flip it horizontally or vertically. And I can rotate it to exactly where I want it. Now I want to show you another really cool feature here in Kittl. So on the left-hand side, we can easily add texture to our design. So I'll select texture, and there are a lot of different options to choose from. For this example today, I will be using the grunge textures, and you can look at all of them by selecting show all. And I really like this one here, so I'll select that, and then that will add it to my entire canvas. And you'll see you can see texture on everything. So what I want to do is go to the right hand side here, and under texture where it says color burn, I'll hit this drop down arrow and then scroll down to the bottom here and select alpha mask, and then select clip content. And you'll notice as I hit clip content, it'll make it so that the texture is only inside of my design. So I'll select clip content, and now it is only showing on the hearts and on the letters. You can also adjust the opacity of your texture. So if you want it to be less textured, you can just decrease the opacity or increase it depending on what you want. And I'll zoom in here so you can really see the texture, and it makes it look really nice and really adds more of that retro feel to our design. For our design, I really like this color palette that we currently have, but if you wanted to change the colors, you can easily do that in Kittl. You'll go down here to your project colors, and on the right hand side, this is one of the coolest features. I'll select this icon here, and that will bring up my different project colors as well as more palettes. And if I scroll down here and I highlight over these different color palettes, you'll notice it automatically adjusts the color for each layer on my project. And what I love about this is you can quickly create different designs with just different color palettes. So I can upload a design with this candy shop color palette, then one with this ocean blue color palette, with the deep wood color palette, depending on what colors I like and what ones I want to use in my store. And let's say, for example, you don't like any of these color palettes that Kittl has, you can go to coolers.co. You can either search specific colors, topics, styles, or hex values, or you can just look through their different color palettes that they have down here below. Once you find a color palette that you really like, you can easily add this to your Kittl project. So let's say we want to add this color palette to our project. All that you would have to do is select the specific color that you want, and that will copy the hex code to your clipboard, and then we'll go back to Kittl here. And then you can either select the specific color that you want to change, or you can create your own color palette. So over on the left hand side, what I would do is select elements, and then I would scroll down to basic shapes and select this circle. So since I already copied the hex code from coolers.co, all that I need to do is go up here to my object color, and then I can select Control V on Windows or Command V on Mac, and that will copy my new hex code to my project, and I'll hit enter. And now I just need to repeat the process and go and get the different colors that I want to add from coolers.co to my project. And now that I have my color palette here, I'll just drag it off of my canvas. And now down here in my project colors, I can easily access all of those colors from coolers.co. One last thing I want to do is change the color of this element to match the dark color of the rest of this design. So I'll select that element, go up here and select the color, and then I will select that dark color from my document colors. And another thing you can do before exporting your design is changing your background color to whatever shirt color that you are selling. This is a great thing to do just so you can make sure that the colors that are in your design will actually look okay on whatever color shirt that it is. And you can do that by going to your print provider. So I'll go to Printify, and then for whatever product that you're selling, so for this example, I will be doing the Bella Canvas 3001. I will go and locate that product, and then next to the print provider that I use, I select more details. And then here on the different color options, if you highlight over the color, it will give you the hex value for that specific shirt. And then what I'll do is copy that hex value into my Kittl project. I'll first make sure my background is selected, and then under background color, I will select this circle, and then double click on the hex value and type in my new hex value. And the shirt value that you plug in isn't going to be identical to the actual shirt in real life, but it will just give you a general idea of how this design would look on that specific color. But for this specific color palette, I would most likely print this on a white, natural, or soft cream shirt. Once you have finalized your design, you are ready to export it. Before doing that, I will rename this project, and then go up to the top right hand corner and select download, and then turn on remove background as well as optimize quality. After doing so, you'll select PNG, and that will export it to your computer. Creating high quality trending designs is one of the most important steps to succeeding and standing out on Etsy, but that's not the only thing. Watch this video here because I uncover the winning formulas of Etsy's top 5 sellers. Click right here and I'll see you in the next video.